I see it.
Cool. Okay. Sweet. Okay. So the hyphenate thing, you go into window, type in tables, paragraph, except for we just made it go away, which is great. So window, type in tables, paragraph, and then uncheck hyphenate.
Got it.
Yep, in paragraph. So now you will never have hyphens again in any file you open in InDesign. Another trick real quick here that we're gonna set up before we open anything is go into edit. We're gonna go into preferences and general. And then this is like possibly advanced for some people, but if you like using pasteboard because you like Illustrator and I like using pasteboard, I don't know why yours are in pixels, probably because it's in general somewhere else. So Ben's is set up in pixels. I don't know if you guys are all in pixels. Mine is in inches. But you can change this right here. This is the size of your pasteboard. So if you write down the steps to get into that, you can mess with this. But I make my horizontal pasteboard much larger than my vertical pasteboard, and it really helps you able to copy and paste things outside of your piece of paper. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this will make more sense when I open up a thing. I'll show you guys how to get back into this, but this is something that like saved my life when I learned how to do it. I do
so
my
actually mine's in inches, so should it be like 8.5 and then the
I do my
like 1?
horizontal at 12 and my vertical at 3.
Okay, thank you.
Oh yeah, see you're in points. Why would you be in points, Ben? That's inches. Okay. And then pasteboard still. Okay, so we'll call that good enough for now. I'll re-explain that. But you have to have nothing in here. You have to have no pages or anything. Otherwise, when you change that, you're gonna have to change it for every single file. So this will make more sense next. So now we're gonna do an open, not an open. Now we're gonna do a new document. Okay, now this is where you're gonna decide what you want. I usually go to print. I don't know, I think it changes some settings. You can choose if you want it to be 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17, or common. Do you like to work in horizontal or vertical? Like, I think that's the question you have to be asking yourself here. Like, I usually make my boards vertically. Just choose one and mess with that for tonight. Like maybe you want to do 11 by 17 spreads and you don't want to do facing pages. Or maybe you want to do 8.5 by 11 and you want facing pages. So it really doesn't matter. But whenever you're doing your thumbnails, you want it to be the same thing that you're choosing. Like if you're doing a horizontal thumbnails, you're going to want to set it up horizontal. If you're doing vertical thumbnails, set it up vertically. So we're just going to choose whatever format we want. It's okay. Don't think too hard about certain things. I'm going to make it, I don't know. I'm going to make it portrait today. Make sure this is inches. Makes everything easier because we know inches. Let's say we're going to bring in like 4 pages. Facing pages, I like facing pages. If you don't like facing pages, don't do it. That's how you can do a spread between 2 pages. And then columns and gutters. Okay, so this is where it really gets into like when you guys were doing your iterations and how you want to set up your pages. I personally like to add multiple columns to my pages because it makes it way easier to have that hierarchy to that design. When you're designing and things are like floating and they're not snapping to the same corners, that can make your design look really messy. So this is how, like, choose a number of columns. Maybe you want 3 columns. I usually make my gutter smaller because there's not a lot of text. This is images, but like, let's say you want your images to be 1/4 of an inch apart, your gutter can be 1/4 of an inch. And this is something you have to set up kind of at the beginning. It's like, sort of impossible or a real pain to do it afterwards. So, you know, maybe open a couple files and see what you like. Margins. You don't need margins. You can have them. This goes into if you want to print your booklet or have it viewed digitally. If you want it to be viewed digitally and you're never going to print it, 0 margins is fine. Like you don't need any margins. You can have all of your Yeah, so there is going to be an option to print your booklet for yourself. It's going to be weird. Like we can chat about if you're printing info because the printing gets really complicated. But margins at 0, if you want your images to go all the way across, full spread, side to side, you want your margins to be 0. You know, like you don't care. But if you say you do want a margin, you know, 1/2 inch is a common margin size. And maybe you want a margin on some pages and some pages you don't. I mean, that's going to be all about your design when you're setting up this booklet. And then bleed and slug, once again, don't worry about the slug, but the bleed, this is going to be once again for printing. Whatever you do, just don't do an inside bleed if you have facing pages. We can chat if you really want to print this and make it look cool, just like send me an email. We can chat more specifically. But the bleed is basically if you're going to send this to a professional printer, you need to have a small bleed. 0.125 should be plenty. Don't do it on the inside if you have facing pages. I'm sorry, this is really fast if anyone's not getting something, but like this is just the basic document setup and why you might do some of these things. So we'll create it with the bleed. We'll see what that looks like. So now InDesign has given us our pages. If you look, this red line is your bleed right here. So that's your bleed. You want your images to go all the way to your bleed. And once again, that's when a professional is cutting your document down to size. They're going to cut that off, but that ensures that there's absolutely like no weird white spaces in case your image isn't cut 100% accurately. So we'll zoom back out. That's basic document setup. I went through that really fast because I mean, everyone's going to set up their document more than once probably to get something that they actually want. Yes. They get to see the beginning stress. Yes. Yes. If you do a shift double, of course yours would be. Shift W shows you what is visible and what is not visible. This is your presentation mode. I love shortcut keys. InDesign gives you like so many lines around stuff. So if you ever want to know like what the heck you can actually see, just do a Shift W. You'll be in presentation mode, just hit escape. My phone. Okay, so back to thumbnails like we were doing beforehand. I love thumbnails so much, so much. And what you can do is thumbnail some stuff, and then you do this beautiful thing called making master pages off of your thumbnails. And then those master pages can like help you make your documents so much faster. So to get into a master page, you double click your master page. Okay, master pages are not scary. Master pages are your friend. Do not be afraid of the words I'm saying. So double click your master page to get into it. Now, anything you put on here is in here, but like it's not in here forever, okay? So it's not scary, I promise. So I'm gonna put that's a box for an image, and this is a box that I'm gonna make a color. I'm gonna make it blue, because I like blue. Okay, just showing you guys what a master page does in case you forgot. Then we'll double click out of our master pages and you can see that I have a box for an image on all of them and a blue guy. So once again, the master page is not scary. So to get rid of it, yeah, screen is so small compared to mine. So you can apply master pages. You can also unapply. So click on, let's say page 3. We don't really want this on here. You can override master page, and then you can delete this blue box. If I would have done that before, like let's say I add a couple pages, this is just an example. If I would have done that before, I cannot delete this blue box no matter how hard I try. The blue box is staying. But once I override it, I can delete whatever is on there. So that's one trick. But also, we can make more master pages, and this is why they're super cool. So new master. Okay, so this is gonna be master B. I don't know, we're gonna call it the title page. Maybe you wanna have a title page in between the different sections of your thing. We're gonna hit okay. We double click into our master B, and let's say that instead of a blue box, we want to have a nice yellow box. We're making our yellow box. Okay. Escape. And if you get confused on any of this, just like have me repeat it, because this is seriously will save your life. Okay, so now you can see we don't have any yellow boxes, but we just made a yellow box. Where are all the yellow boxes? Don't worry, friend, I got you. There's two things you can do. I know. Sometimes this is how I talk to myself, okay? Right click, so we'll first right click on the page that doesn't have anything. We'll apply master pages. We want to apply master page B. Okay, so you got multiple master pages now. Apply master page B just to this page. I think that was page 3. We're gonna hit okay. Now it's a yellow box. Nailed it. Okay, but what about this one with the blue box? You don't have to delete the blue box. You can just go to apply master pages, page 5. That wasn't page 5 apparently. Oh, I clicked A. Oh, shucks. Remember, it has to be over here. It has to be in your pages thing. Otherwise, you're going to right click and not get anything. Apply master pages, B, page 5, yellow box. So you don't have, you can override. What I'm trying to get at is you can make your one master page that's super beautiful, but you can override it with multiple others. So like you can literally make so many things out of these master pages. They're so cool. So my favorite thing to do is to make it into a template. So like, let's say I'm breaking my document up and I'm pulling down some grids and I took a lot of time to measure these grids out correctly because my document is beautiful and precise. Now what I do is I go back out of here and I want those grids on here. I can just apply master pages. Apply master pages. You know, we want B again. We also kind of want all, but let's just say we want it on page 2. Now my grids are on here. So you can literally set up anything in a master page like these grids. Go into here, or yeah, we're in our master page. Go into here, add your grids, whatever, and then you can delete the master page, and then it's gone from all the pages. So you can set up grids, you can set up, Jay's probably showed you, he sometimes just does boxes. So like, let's say he has a whole box that covers this and then another whole box just to like space out images and like half it correctly. That wasn't halved correctly. But sometimes Jay will just do it with like image boxes. You can also do it with grid lines. Yeah. So grid lines, pull them down, pull them over. Your whole entire thing can be gridded. So just to reiterate, you can literally make, say you want to make a master page for like your title pages. Maybe you want to use it for grids. Oh, page numbers. I'll show you guys how to do page numbers. Maybe your background is a master page. Maybe you want a different color background on your left pages than on your right pages. You can do that in master pages. It can be a template, you know, for all your other pages, but you don't have to follow it. So they're really cool. And I suggest you take your little thumbnails that you like the best, you make a couple master pages, and then you can apply them. Say like every 3 pages maybe is the exact same layout. Someone looking at your document isn't going to know that every 3 pages is the exact same layout because it's going to have different text, it's going to have different images, and it's actually going to make it look way better. So that's part of my spiel. on why you should love master pages. Now let's go back to our first one. Okay, you might want to take notes on this because you're gonna forget. Putting in a number at the bottom of your little pages. Does anyone remember this? Anyone? I was gonna say Jay does this in every class, and I yet still have to Google it every time. So you put in a text box. Type something. Actually, don't type something. Right click. Go into Insert Special Character, Markers, Current Page Number. Okay. We'll do it again. We're not even gonna copy and paste. We're gonna do it again so you guys can see me struggle through that one more time. Insert a text box, right click, insert special character, markers, current page number is a big one. It's a lot. Now if you go to paragraph, you can do this, and now it's on the right side. Okay, so now they're just A's, but if we go back to close some of these things, oh my goodness, I don't like this at all. Where's my master page? Where has it gone? I don't like what's happening here. I just have my own, like, where, there we go. It was covering it. Go back into page. Stupid. How many times is the paragraph thing? Is it just not closing? Go away. Okay. Okay, so now we click out of this, and now we have page numbers. That's all I wanted to show you is we have page numbers. It says 1. Oh no, it's behind my freaking yellow box. What do I do? I got you. Go in here. Stop laughing at me. You know you're all thinking it. Highlight your little guys. Highlight both of them. Go into layers. Make a new layer. Layer this, the overarching god of my paper. Madster. You should take classes from me. Hit OK. Move it up there. Go back out of this. Now your page numbers should be on top. Why aren't they on top? That's what we all want to know. Oh, because my master pages are not applied to it currently. There we go. Yeah, so there's different things. So like I did this in the wrong order. Basically, you can just reapply your master pages to this. That'll be the fastest way to do it. Basically, you want to apply your one master page that you want to keep. Like, let's say that this is what I really want. It has my background, or it has my like running, I don't know, like portfolio 2021, whatever. On the bottom, it has my like page numbers, that kind of stuff. You make your first one that like has stuff that you do want on literally every page. And then to apply a different one on top of it, you just, kill it first. You just do this little thing and you say override all items on master page. But we're gonna go back to apply pages 2 to 3. And we want okay, there we go. So now if you wanted to apply your weird yellow stripes, you'd have to go to override all items and then apply master pages, apply master page B to page 3. Boom, did it. I told you I knew what I was doing. Okay, so once again, when you're in your master pages, you can move things to different layers. And so say like, oh no, my numbers did end up behind something. Oh no, just move them to a very top layer, like name it master and lock it and don't put anything else on that layer. Yeah. So that's all I have on master pages. That's almost all I have. I only have one other thing, and potentially I don't actually know what Jeff Knight is gonna tell us stuff and things. So I don't want to like step on potentially getting into that. But do you have any like images I can place on this real fast, or can I just I'm gonna just Google pizza. Some people know what I'm talking about. Go to images, copy, When I don't know what to Google and I'm flustered, I Google pizza. It's a go-to. Paste your image. Ugh. Don't paste onto log layers. Don't be me. Okay. Last little trick I want to show you guys is this little tool, color theme. It looks like Ben has it activated, so he's a smarty. Click. You don't even have to click the image. You can click anywhere. You can click literally anywhere, and it pulls colors. And this is only part of it. You could also go into Adobe, like the wet internet now, and like, yeah, and look it gives you multiple options. But anyways, if you really want to cheat, you do that. Then you can do this sweet thing called add to swatches. And here we go. Our swatches now contain all of these colors. And now, right down here, it exists up here too. It exists up here and it exists over here. And the next thing that you should then do is add to your CC library. And CC libraries, I'm just gonna talk about this for 3 seconds. If you're making something in here, especially colors and things like that, I highly suggest adding them to your CC library, because let's say you want to make a diagram in Illustrator and you want to use these colors and you want to use these fonts and you don't want to go back and forth, add your fonts into here too. When you open up Illustrator, you can have a little group that says portfolio. And then Ben's just got a lot going on. But then you drag this into your portfolio. Sorry, you have pizza colors in your portfolio now. When you open this in Illustrator, everything that's in this little portfolio guy is going to open in Illustrator. And do this for all your projects. Save a life. Trey, I'm looking at you because you had some issues last semester. Do this in all of your projects and save a life. Put everything in here that you think you may need when you're going between your boards. You can open it Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. Yeah. I'm sorry, that was a lot. I don't know. I was just feeling a very spunky. So yeah, so this is just my like 30-second how to set up a document correctly. Oh, okay, let's go back to pasteboard for 2 seconds. Do you see when I zoom way out how there's like barely any room right here? Like, what the heck? I can barely make a picture of pizza on there. Like, what if I had a really big pizza picture? Oh no. Pizza picture? What if it was so big? God damn it. This is not, there we go. But anything that's outside of my pasteboard, which is this, you see what I'm talking about? You can't see it. That's why you go to File, or you go to Edit, Preferences, General, just Guides and Pasteboard. Gosh darn, we got it. We got it somehow. Make this 12. Make it 16. You know, really go to town with that pasteboard. Hit OK. Now look at how much pizza I can fit on here.